Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving Day. The sun moved into Scorpio today. Want to talk about Thanksgiving and what it's really all about, and why they venerate this day that you don't know about, because there's nothing that they do that is not related to the zodiac. Why is it on a Thursday? Why is it the third Thursday of November? Always. The day changes, always on a Thursday. Nostradamus told us why. That they would come to venerate the heavens on a Thursday. It's Thor's day. It's Jupiter's day. When the sun rises in Scorpio, in the morning when you get up, or that night before, right before dawn, when Sirius is in the sky, which we have right now. We have Sirius in the sky right now. You have the constellation of Orion is venerated, and that is the Freemason tracing board. It's been known by different, in the past, it was a set date, and it was the Beltane Festival. Same thing. They're venerating the constellation of Orion. All Freemason lodges around the world, all of them, have their meetings on Thursday. I think that answers that question. Thanksgiving, the word itself is a verb. But the way they've used it in our language, it's now a noun. It's a thing. It can be an adjective. Thanksgiving, the ing makes it a verb. It's something you're doing. This is all about grammar. That book is all about sentence structure, syntax, grammar, dialect. And when you say the word king, it's the spirit ing. It's the spirit doing. This is the age of knowing in Aquarius. But when we move to Capricorn, it's the age of doing. It's I do. I know I do. I know I do. I know and I do. It is a verb. Both of these ages in grammar is about knowing and doing, because it's the ka-ing, it's the spirit-ing. It's doing. It shows action, as in thanksgiving. They've done that to the word love as well. Love used to be a verb. It was something you did. Then it was changed to an adjective. You describing, I feel love. So it's a descriptive thing. And then it was changed to a noun, its own entity. When it used to be, it's either an they've used it in all four ways: adverb, adjective, verb, and noun. Originally being verb, to love. Today, Venus, that bronzed serpent on the pole, she is on the wisdom of the heavens today, with the sun leaving Scorpio and Jupiter and Venus there. When Jupiter conjuncts Venus, it's always a great time of truth. And this is being revealed. A lot of this is being revealed right now. The word apocalypse, they tell you unveiling. Apo means from. So apocalypse is from the spirit of the lips. And they say lisp. That's why they use this funny phrase all the time, read my lips. It's a Masonic term telling you the legend to use when deciphering what's being said. So to me, the apocalypse is the unveiling of the true oral tradition. To me, this zodiac, it's false. There's too many false symbols in it. It's an amalgamation of zodiacs around the world. Biblically, it is known as the city of Jerusalem. You will see a new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. That new zodiac, the true knowledge laid down by Aquarius and Saturn that actually rule and created the true zodiac. We're lied to about everything. But within the lies, the truth is in there. It's a very difficult subject to talk about because it comes from an ancient oral tradition that was laid down into script and manipulated by priests and astrologers for their own filthy lucre, gain, power, and control. I don't know if they thought they could manipulate this wheel, but they can change these pictures and these stories all they want. The truth is still within it. Like the Christianity, it is not a religion, but they made it such. It's a great source of knowledge. Right now, we are at a point in that story that we're told of the great falling away. There's always a great falling away every time that wheel turns and a new constellation enters into one of those 4 fixed points. It happened this year on the summer solstice. This year, Taurus entered the summer solstice. It's the beginning of the great falling away. And what's falling away is the lies. The truth is being uncovered. I don't want to destroy the Bible. I want it to be taught for what it is. But people get terribly upset. They want to defend that book to the very end, and their Lord, their traditions, whatever. But at the same time, those who are waking up to that, they're throwing the book away. They're throwing it away, and they're burning it, and they're marching against it. These coming out of the church that's waking up to they're not waking up to the truth. They're only waking up to the lie. They've not been given the truth, or they would not throw this book away. They would sit down and actually learn how to read it. To me, like the word world should always have age behind it, because it's talking about a specific period in time on this planet. At the same time, the word God means like the whole zodiac, the whole heavens. But the word Lord, that is a house or a deacon within a house. The specific ruler of that time. Like our specific ruler right now is Dagon. He's half fish, half man. And I don't think anybody on this planet would argue with you that the Pope holds that position. He even wears the fish hat. But we're moving into the Fisher King, right? The Fisher King. This will be the King of Kings. This is the time that we're in. And today is supposed to be a day of thanksgiving. It's giving thanks. It's supposed to be a verb. And today I would like to keep that the way it should be and actually give thanks. I have so much to be thankful for. It sounds sad. This will be the first Thanksgiving that I have not celebrated it by cooking that turkey and dressing. I'm not going to do it today. It's just me. What an awful waste of a bunch of food. Even though it is my absolute favorite meal. I love cornbread dressing. is just awesome to me. I would eat it with every meal if I could. But to give thanks, my life is great right now. I am in a new place. I have all kind of new stuff around me to decipher and interpret. This just adding to the knowledge base I already have. It's confirmation to me. Some of you call that synchronicity, like seeing the 11:11 and all of that. To me, it's not synchronicity, it's confirmation that you're in the right place at the right time. You're in the right Jupiter with the right Saturn. The knowledge of everything around us all comes from up here. It was in oral tradition for a long, long time. The word apocalypse, apo, means from, ka is spirit, and I think we know what the lips are. And then they say lisp, the apocalypse. We've talked about that before. The key being Moses stuttered, so Aaron had to speak for him. Even George Bush loved the term, read my lips. The unveiling is of the oral tradition. It's the ancient oral tradition. What is that tradition? It's that oath. The oath that the Babylonian priests took to bibble-babble the languages so you would not know that God is in heaven. The God of heaven is Saturn. And that Venus is one of the good guys ruling heaven and earth. That the liars are Mars and Jupiter. And Mercury plays in on that. Mercury is like the flip-flop. That's why Mercury was never demonized, but he is even venerated in the age of Mars and Jupiter in Aries and over here in Pisces, because Mercury rules commerce. But what we have is a false commerce. Mercury working with Saturn and Venus, but he's mutable, right? He's changeable. And that's a big downfall of the magic they've used. I do believe those who set this up have actually lost control. And those that are now in control are aware of the lie, and they are holding the Vatican ransom. The Pope is now in ransom. We are at that time of the falling away. Every time a constellation, every time the zodiac wheel turns, and different constellations enter those 4 different points of the spring and fall equinox and the summer and winter solstice. One is a Chris and the other one is the cross. Then you have whole ages that are falling away. There'll be a great falling away first. You've been told that's the coming out of the church. And in a way it is, metaphorically, because we are leaving the waters and we are moving into air. We are told as we move into Aquarius, there will be no more sea. There'll be no more of this over here. It's going to be gone. And it's going to be ugly. There's just no way around that. You want to run out and wake the whole world up. But when you wake them up and tell them their religion's a lie, and you don't have the truth to replace it with, you've destroyed everything. They leave angry, bitter, hateful, and then again, they are still living just a different lie. They still don't have the truth. And where the truth comes from. Because it's the truth that sets you free. When you wake people up that aren't ready, that don't have the truth, that can't receive the truth, then they're just receiving a different lie. They're still in bondage. They're not awake. they're still handling all of these negative emotions. But when you understand the truth of it, then indeed you are free. You're free from that bondage. You're free from the magic spell. The Bible is the greatest magic book that was ever written. Period. It's a spell that was cast upon you so you could not look up and see the truth. Within those words, that is just the biggest lie ever laid down, is the truth, if written properly, using the correct grammar, the correct terminology. But they have pulled the wool over the sheep's eyes. Luckily, I am a goat. I have no wool to pull over my eyes. But today, I would like to give thanks to those who made it possible for me to be where I'm at this new start, at this new beginning. I feel like I have, since 2010, literally almost to the day in 2010, is when all hell broke loose in my life. And I was forced into positions I didn't want to be in. I was resisting the change. And now that I'm accepting it, I'm again moved into a new place. And I know that a lot of knowledge is fixing to come my way. A lot of knowledge about all these constellations is laid out by the builders all over the city and the state that I'm in. I've got to see it in the other places I've lived. This wisdom of the heavens that the builders left behind for us. The wisdom of the heavens came down after the flood with Mercury in Gemini, as Hermes, as Thoth, as Buddha. In the links below, you'll find the planetary linguistics, and you'll see all the names of the planets in the different traditions. And the ones most distorted, indeed, is Mercury. The many different names of Mercury and Jupiter, being the two mutable planets. They rule the mutable signs. They're changeable. But we're moving into the fixed heavens on that fixed cross. And it's a Chris mark, but moving into the cross position. So you have the XT. The XT Ra. Extra. You get the XT Ra. Bible, Bibble, Babble. How to undo it. It's the same thing as like abracadabra. You can throw away all the vowels and just put A there. Or you can throw away all the vowels and abracadabra is BRK, Barakadabara. You just take the consonants. And you can put anything you want in there. Actually, within the word abracadabra is the magic word that we get Barack Obama's name from. It's Baraka, Abaraka. It's embedded within it. It's all magic. It's all staged. There's really no such thing as a government or your elected officials. It's a corporation. It's not a government. It's not run by the people for the people. It's a corporation, and it's there to make money. It's evoking Mercury, mutable earth. And that was the forbidden magic. That's what this iron over here mixed with miry clay wasn't supposed to happen. Iron's supposed to mix with the wisdom of the heavens and Venus. And instead, they evoked that magic and mixed it with the miry clay of Mercury and created commerce and money. And it's all the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. The last 3 ages we've been in, You know, I tell people Jesus is not a Republican or a Democrat. I even hate that name. Balaam is a king. King of kings and Lord of lords. When Saturn moves into this house, in this age, that's when the takeover will happen. That's when the real falling will begin. You think about it, we've got enough, actually, with Taurus hitting that summer solstice mark this year. The others will all fall into line within the next 72 years. I know that seems like a long time, but it's just one tick. It's just 1 second on the watch of the heavens. 1 second. That's all it is. Just a moment. If you think about the way the heavens move and the way our clocks move. But today, the sun entering that sign of mysticism, passion. This is Mars's house. I don't like the Scorpio there. To me, it is that great eagle that's mentioned in the book of Revelations. That's how you know the book of Revelations is older than this zodiac. They want you to believe it was the last book written. No, it was written before they did this, because it still had the eagle. It had the eagle, the face of the man, the face of the ox, the face of the lion, and the face of the eagle. That writing is very old. They changed the names and the times to protect the priesthood of Babylon. They're still ruling this today. They've got their hands in everything. But you know what we have today? We have Venus stationed on the wisdom of the heavens with Jupiter in her house. And this is going to be the truth about Jupiter. The sun's in Scorpio now. And there she stands, telling you the truth. Look up to that bronzed serpent on the pole and live. Be free. Go out and live your own life instead of the life the church is telling you, or the government is telling you, or anybody's telling you. You have your own cross. You have your own natal chart. You're supposed to do your own thing. If you're going to follow anybody, follow the fixed cross in the heavens. The time is now. On this day of Thanksgiving, on Thor's Day. And in a big way, I guess you can say, because Mars and Jupiter work together, and Thor has that hammer. That hammer's iron. Mars, always warring. These are the great tales of the Norsemen and the Vikings and Valhalla, the age of Ares there in Europe. When an age comes in, it's designated to a specific land and people on that wheel, especially on the Native American medicine wheel, but it's all over the world. Like when Taurus was venerated in Orion, that shit was built all over the world. But indeed, it came, its origin is Africa. And then war was given to us by the age of Ares and Mars. Everything was cleaned after the flood. It was like we get a do-over. We got a do-over back over here in Cancer. And then Mutable Heavens comes out. Mercury as Hermes, as Thoth, as Viracocha, Buddha, all over the world with this great knowledge of the heavens, of the changing and mutable heavens. And they took this knowledge in Africa and spread it all over the world. You'll find pyramids everywhere. And then came in the age of the Orient. Even Crowley's work is bogus. He got the Lama part right. but because he invoked Mars, that Orientis temple, that fire god, I seen clearly who tampered with the information and why he could not pull Thelema out of the hat correctly as Thalem and give us the truth. Why have they all hidden it? Because they all wanted fame, fortune, and money. They were all trying to venerate themselves. He obviously understood the Bible, Bibble Babble, because he did a language of his own. So did John D. So did a lot of them. But they are easily as decipherable as the rest of them, because it's the same oath. It's the same vow to El. And he gives them great gifts, but they have received their reward here. There will be nothing waiting for them. Biblically, this is Libra is considered the tribe of Dan. He's the adder in the way. He's the judge. As a matter of fact, in the book of Revelations, when it talks about the New Jerusalem, this constellation is eliminated. And I know that was fiddled with by the Babylonians, because he's not mentioned. They take the tribe of Joseph, split it between Ephraim and Manasseh, and give this to them. They're one tribe. So actually what that's telling me is here's what they're going to try to do. They're going to bring in the 13th constellation by putting the eagle back with the serpent. That the eagle has control of the adder in the way. The United States is doing this now, changing the zodiac in the Capitol building and trying to bring down Ophiuchus. If you make the eagle and Libra again one sign, then you're back to the 11. To keep the 12, you bring Ophiuchus down. The hero's journey. And both of these constellations are fixing in the next 72 years will hit the winter solstice and die. It'll take them 2,500, actually half of 25, so 1,300 years to die and be born. So 1,300 years, this eagle and this hero's journey. And movies right now, the hero always gets injured, but he survives in the end. That story is fixing to change, because the heavens are fixing to tell us a new story. We're getting a new story, and it's going to be the story of the lion, of the ox, of the man on the cross, and the true story of this eagle over here. To me, the book of Revelations is telling you about the changing of the ages that moves through half of the zodiac and then the other half. You will not see hellfire and brimstone back over here till you see it in Sagittarius with Jupiter. But at that point, it's not war, it's Jupiter. It's philosophy, it's in the mind. It's the fire, that philosophical fire that's in the mind. And if Jupiter ever becomes a star, it's going to happen in the age of Sagittarius. Space Odyssey 2001 is a Space Odyssey 2 ages away. That book covers much people don't understand. Apocalypse, apo, from, ka, spirit, lips, from the spirit of the lips, from the oral tradition, from the oral tradition. But then again, what did they do? They took the oral tradition, they made an oath, they took the vow to El, and now we have a bunch of crap that we can't understand because we don't stand under. But we do now. Now we have the wisdom of the heavens. Venus is up there telling us today, go learn some. Be thankful for the wisdom of the heavens during the day, because what they're venerating is in the night. It's always been about the night stars. And what goes on after the sun goes down. It's all about the moon. Like the word sin. The word sin is actually moon. In Arabic, it is the moon. You can see that in the planetary linguistics as well. And you see that you get the November. Why do the Orion constellation, we get the meteor showers. There we go. The meteor showers. November. So they're venerating Sirius, Betelgeuse, the Freemason tracing board, and because they are on that fixed cross. And when you're in the sign of the eagle, the sign of the ox is opposite you. When you're in the sign of the man, the sign of the lion is opposite you. It's in the night. To help you understand more, we have a warped way of thinking, because we have solar astrology. Before we understood solar astrology, there was only lunar astrology, because you cannot see the stars in the day, only at night. So Orion, being a constellation, now in the spring, moving into the summer equinox, we have its opposite is that eagle or that scorpion, that water. This is the sign of earth, and its opposite is water. The water bird, the water eagle. That's why they have the sea hawks. Any type of bird. It was a hawk in the Egyptian. It was an eagle to the Greeks and the Romans. But it's a sea hawk. And you see the adder. All right. There's some more Bibble Babble on this great day of giving thanks. And I thank all of my subs that made it possible for me to be here and remain here. And I see a lot coming down the pipeline as far as information opening up, events taking place. As I'm doing these charts, again, I have deeper and deeper patterns that start showing up. I wish everybody could learn to do other people's astrology charts, because when you start to see the patterns in them and you realize the alchemy behind it, you get very excited. The book and the pastors and the Babylonians are all preaching doom and gloom. Well, it is for them. Their time's up. It is very much doom and gloom. They are shaking in their boots. But it's good for us. It's good for the world age to come. It must be. It doesn't have a choice. They've lied about it and kept it from us long enough. But we're not babes anymore. We're growing up. We've drowned the last age and was on fire the age before that. So it's time we dry out now, look up, because what is going to be revealed as we enter this age is truth that will indeed set us all free from the bondages and the lies of the Babylonian priesthood and those that came before them as well. This lie goes back a long, long way, longer than we could ever imagine. People assume that Babylon was back over here in the age of Aries because that's what the book says. No, that was the second age of Babylon after the flood. Babylon symbol is the lion. Just completely. And you can understand the lion being opposite Thalem on that cross. So if Thalem's giving you the truth, then what is the lion giving you? He's giving you lies. And fire. And that belongs to the sun. The sun wanted to tell his own story. He wanted to be venerated, not the heavens, not the zodiac, not the magic circle. The sun is like the wand in your hand, the sun and the moon. You're standing in your magic circle, your natal chart. You're the magician. But the spell was cast upon the magician. And none of you are allowed to see your crosses or your natal charts. You're not allowed to know the truth. You're just given a bunch of bibble babble from back over here in the age of the sun. And they perpetuated this. They survived the floods. They took advantage of the mutable heavens and changed the zodiac. This is where the scorpion took the place of the eagle. They wrote it into the script, and then they built it all over the world. And then they brought in Mars and Jupiter, as I call them, the dynamic duo. Batman is the Vat man. He's the Vatican man. We've already been through Batman and Superman. And who they are. The Clark Kent is the cleric of Kent. Superman is the head. He's the Grand Master Mason of all Freemason lodges around the world. It's the Queen's husband is Superman. And the Pope is Batman. It's built into the words. That's why linguistics is so important. I would have never done this without languages. I was not an astrologer. I did not believe in astrology. I actually believed in the Bible because it touched my heart. I knew I was hearing truth, but I also knew it was covered in traditions of men. I just didn't know what that was. But as I started learning the linguistics and realized what the priest of Babylon did, and I was able to unbibble that Babel, and as I do that, the heavens are revealing themselves to me. So within all that bibble babble is still the truth. They could not destroy the truth. It had to remain in there. They just covered it up with stories, like Hollywood does. All right, and Hollywood actually is venerating Venus over here. This is who they venerate. You can see it clearly in their iconography. The different companies venerate the different constellations. But that woman, that bronzed serpent, that wisdom of the heavens, everything they're showing you, they have Pegasus. They have all of it. Every symbol is a logo. It's a logo. Here's the original logos. Look at Venus in her kite today. Isn't she beautiful? And Mars fixing to be undefended. The moon moving into Capricorn. You need to know all these symbols. That's one everybody should know. And I don't think anybody does. I don't think we're properly taught this. And then the demonization of that age by the book. Oh, Lucifer, how art thou fallen. That's okay. She's a kite and she's finna catch wind. And in a few ages, she'll be back. But she will be remembered in this age to come because she rules cardinal air. And she's on that, there with Capricorn and Cancer. Her wisdom is coming back around. She works in conjunction with fixed air and Saturn and Thalum. And they got this. They really do. You really need to understand the good guys are the bad guys and the bad guys are the good guys. And that depends on which side you're on, right? Well, the truth is up above you. You really don't need any of these guys, but those that are being demonized right now generally are the good ones. This political dichotomy going on and all of the religious wars and ideological wars going on right now is all going to be swept away with when this comes out. And when that happens, then everybody the two opposing sides over here get to stand up and realize they're both wrong. It's not the Democrats or the Republicans. It's the king. It's like Mars and Jupiter at war with each other now. And then here comes Saturn. And he's just going to clean house. He's coming through Jupiter's house now. Getting ready for a conjunction with Jupiter in Saturn's house. Regardless if you're looking at Western or sidereal astrology. Western astrology happens in Aquarius. Well, that's doom and gloom for Jupiter. Sidereal astrology has it happening in Capricorn. Same thing. Gloom and doom for Jupiterians. For benevolence. Now, they pussyfooted around. That's just the best word I could think of. Now it's time for the hard, cold truth. The church could have released this information. Instead of condemning Galileo, they should have venerated him. They need to come in languages, in grammar. Our grammar is set up based on the way things are done in the Vatican. The oath, they tell you to read between the lines. I'm telling you to read between the syllables. It's a seal and a bull, a papal bull. That's a directive, a direct order, a bull, a papal bull. So you have, and a seal. It's the seal of the Pope. So you need to get down to the syllable of the thing, to its root, to its core. And that's going to be Thalum, the LM. Like in the word shalom, peace is the knowledge, S, that hidden H, that breath of life, and LM, it's SHLM. It's shh. It's the lamb. Shh. Don't tell anybody. If there's ever going to be a city of peace, it would be Lima, Peru. Even in the cross at Henday, that Cusco, in Cusco, Peru, which is right by Lima, that was their only hope. And there's so much knowledge down there that the Vatican and the age of Aries and Pisces together have destroyed. Because they're terrified of the age to come. They're terrified of the judgment that's going to come down when, because people like me have figured out their little oath, their vow to El. I think a lot of people are stumbling upon this knowledge. A lot of people are channeling this knowledge. And then a lot of people have just uncovered this knowledge, as I have. But the truth is coming out. And not fast enough for me, but I don't like the way that it is coming out. Because when it comes out, we should be over here giving thanks. Giving thanks for this Venus in the wisdom of the heavens. And instead we're becoming angry, disillusioned, almost soulless. What does the Bible say? The love of many will wax cold. That's what happens when you tear that Bible apart. Tell them they've been worshiping the real Satan, and then they become disillusioned. And the love of many wax cold. But if you give them this, the same thing that Moses gave the people when they came out of the previous age, when they came out of the doctrine of Egypt, he tried to give them the wisdom of the heavens. And then again, when the people went back into Babylon, they went back into confusion. So today, I'm thankful for Venus on that pole. There she is, in all of her glory. And to me, it's good news. And the wisdom of the heavens, is going to judge us and the institutions and the ages of this world as we move through this alchemical wheel. A lot of the charts I've been doing, I'm now able to see the transformation in your lives, especially those of you who are older, and I can walk through your Saturn returns and watch that change, that alchemical change from your birth, and to know if you are going to overcome or not. A lot of people that are showing up on my channel right now, you have Neptune here in Libra, in this wisdom of the heavens. There's a whole generation of us, and even at the time we were born, when Neptune was in that sign, was a time of astrology was coming out everywhere. Unfortunately, it was fake Western astrology. Somebody asked me, should I throw my Western chart away? No, I use them both for information. It helps me to, if I look at Western and then look at the sidereal and understand the difference between the two, then I have greater knowledge than if I just had one. It gives me an opposing view. It gives me the view of the world age and then the view of the heaven age. The lie of the world age and the truth of the heavens. So I get to see both. Here's a funny thing I realized last night. I'm finally here a month, and I no longer have to pay the tourist tax here on my rent. And I mean, that's a lot of money. They were gouging the hell out of me. It's 23.5%. It's that W. It's the tilt of the earth. It's the number of DNA. It's that 23. And now they've added that 5. They know. I have, thankfully, Thursday, venerating this constellation over here to where it's all in our face everywhere. I have learned to decipher this. And the Wizard of Oz, this is Dorothy. She's the door, she's the Theo door, she's the God door, and her little dog Toto down here. She's on the fixed cross. The Scarecrow Man's on the fixed cross. The Tin Man's on the fixed cross. The Magician is the guy over here. And mysticism in Scorpio is the magician. The Tin Man is Jupiter. And water makes him rust. He's Jupiter, and the water makes him rust. So what does the Tin Man get? He gets a heart. But in that heart is a clock. He bought himself some time. That's the story. Jupiter bought himself some time. He used the man on the cross, the scarecrow. He had the brains all along. He just needed a degree. He needed a degree. He needed 1 degree of the heavens to put him fully in charge. Dun, 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 dun. Did you just hear what I said? He's in the cornfield. He's the scarecrow on the pole. He's the straw man. He ain't got no brains. He needs a degree, 1 degree of the heavens. And since then, since that was written and published and put out for the world, The Wizard of Oz, now we can see who the Tin Man is, because he got his degree. He got his degree last year this year, when Taurus moved in to the summer solstice. It put him on the cross. Now in that story, he comes off the cross and he goes to the Emerald City. I wonder if it would actually let us zoom in on that. Just how close will Stellarium let me go? I know I can go to the moon. I've gone to Pluto. I've never tried to go to the stars. Pluto is just going to blob out and pixelate out for us, huh? It's the cube! I love that word. Cuba. House of the Spirit. Cube. The Kaaba. Cuba. Kabbalah. Y'all going to end up learning this Bible babble before it's over with. Like I told you, it's the same thing Crowley used, the Enochian language that John Dee used, and the abracadabra. It's that old, abracadabra. I've done the videos on where the Ouija board comes from, and all of this ancient wisdom that comes from the Arabian, the 1001 Tales. And then I've explained to you the word Arab or Arabian means mixed. So it was an amalgamation of all the knowledge that could be scraped up after the flood, after the age of the moon, sin being the moon in Arabic, in the mixed language. Alright, I think I've made this video long enough. It's almost an hour. Go out today, and when you look up in the heavens, right to the right of the sun, you'll see Venus there, and Jupiter, and Mars, Mercury, and Saturn. They're all here today. They're all there, representing. Remember that Thanksgiving is something you do. It's giving thanks. The Ankhs, being grateful, and look up and thank the heavens for the knowledge that we're finally getting, that's dispelling the lies and revealing the truth to us all. 1123, that's 1123, that's the Fibonacci sequence. And if you put it into the language, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, you just keep adding the 2 numbers before. It's the number of nature the number of 5, the golden ratio. And it actually spells a word. We'll do that on another video. But there you go, Sun in Scorpio on this day, 11/23/2017, the day of giving thanks on Thor's Day, given to us by Freemasonry and the founding fathers of this country. And you want to know something really funny? All right, starting to reveal information to me. This is Benjamin Franklin's kite. He was the Grand Master of the Seven Sisters Lodge and the Hellfire Club in France. Benjamin Franklin was truly the founder of this country. That's why his name is, his face is on the $100 bill, and he was never president. He was born a Capricorn, January 17th, same day as Michelle Obama, myself, Martin Luther, all of the great kings on this day. But here's his kite, where he found the electricity from the wisdom of the heavens. He told you he had a key on the kite. Even our history is bibble-babbled, but you can read it. Like Washington is Washington. It's the 10 signs. It's Jupiter and Mars brainwashing the 10 other constellations, the 10 other houses of the zodiac. You can do this to any book. It's like I told you, if they're going to have a Bible for the New Age, it's going to be Moby Dick, because it's bibble-babbled as well. They call me Ishmael. They call me the man of God, the God-man. I'm stopping there, because so much information is coming at me right now, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to cut this video and just start taking notes as to what's being revealed to me right now. It's becoming jumbled and bibble-babbled in me. I'm to leave you with this, the wisdom of the heavens, and this is what I am most thankful for, and all of you that have helped me get this far. That's what I'm thankful for, this key on the kite. And go commit that random act of kindness today, being thankful for the wisdom of the heavens that is dispelling the darkness that we all have been living in.